Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Halos in the Infield. Me, the Lone Star Halo, joined by Todd Fox, and we brought our resident Padre fan on the staff, Andrew, to talk and preview the Padre series. All that and much more up next. Push the button, Todd.
Oh, hold on. That was my job? Hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South Sinclair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets. 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show. Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield, the podcast with, again, your host, Todd Fox, along with the Lone Star Halo.
Yes,
and
sharp as always.
Yes, we are on point, and maybe it's the rubbing off of the Mariners series, but the one that the Padre fan who should be showing his face isn't. We should be the ones incognito the way the Angels are playing, but Andrew is here, our statistician, our resident Padre fan, like Fernando said it in the intro there, and he's here to talk Padres baseball and preview the series, and we'll get his thoughts on the Mariners. So, where do you guys want to start with this one, Fernando?
I mean, let's just cross that bridge now about how bad this Seattle series was. Another team that just outmatched the Angels. Pitching wasn't there. The pitching was so bad, the Reed Detmers got demoted immediately after the game. And, I mean, that should tell you something. Friday was a close game, right? If memory serves correctly.
Yes.
Watch that game.
Yeah, that one went to extra innings, another one-run loss. But if you think about it, guys, you know, if Adele doesn't turn on that pitch and hit the grand slam, we're talking about the Angels finally scoring a run in game 3 in garbage time. That's how bad this series was offensively.
I actually did, now that I think about it, did watch the first 4 innings of this because you and Dominic were doing the live stream. So I did. I mean, you saw me. I was in the group chat, or the live chat there. Yes, Joe Adele single-handedly doing something that we're not too used to here in Anaheim. He had a clutch hit. It ended up going over the wall, so Bally Sports definitely got a little excited about that. But, yeah, if you take that away, there was almost no offense out of these Angels.
What did you think of the series, Andrew? I mean, obviously you're watching it from afar or whatnot, but the Angels' overall lack thereof hitting, we know there's a lot of excuses why they could have that. But even with the team that they have, the roster that they have, in your opinion, as an outsider to the Angels, do you think they should be scoring more runs and trying different things?
Yeah, I think they should be scoring more runs. I don't think on paper you guys have what should be a pretty good offense. Rengifo, he's having a career year, right? And then how do you say is it Logo to Hoppy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good hitting catcher. Joe Adele's really woken up and turning into a good hitter. Taylor Ward's having a good year. Yeah, you would think that you would score more than 5 runs in 3 games?
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad. That's not you're not going to win a lot of games with 5 runs in 3 games.
No, you're not. And the pitching, like I brought up today, like you have now the 8th consecutive start for Griffin Canning, who's allowed 4 runs or less in those 8 starts. And he's got a record of 1-5 in those starts. I mean, or 1-4. It's pretty bad. I mean, dude's just getting no run support. And then, like Fernando brought up, Reed Detmers had a fantastic April, and he fell off in May, just really crapped the bed. And so they've gone opposite of each other. Canning had the bad April and then really good May. Starting pitching outside of Soriano and Canning right now is kind of up and down. And then now, you know, where do we go from here, guys?
Well, let me ask you this. Are you surprised, both of you, you know, because Andrew's definitely a stats guy. Are you surprised that Reed Detmers got sent down? I'm not asking if he deserved to get down. I mean, clearly he deserved to get sent down. But are you surprised this organization actually pulled the trigger on that?
You want to go ahead with that, Andrew?
Yeah, yeah, I'm really surprised. The Angels aren't going to the playoffs this year. Detmers is a big part of the future, and letting him work through this and kind of rebuild the confidence, you would think that would be the next move for the team. So I don't know. I think that was kind of a slap in the face. It's not like there's not a lot of playoff ambitions this year, so let him figure it out.
I'm kind of under the impression that there has to be a little bit more to this. Like, I think I would be all with Andrew right there, but I think that there has to be something like mentally or something that the coaches see that, man, he's just not doing right to be a prototypical major leaguer. And even though it's a slap to his face, like Andrew said, I think it may be one of these things where he needs a slap in the face. Something's wrong. He looks nothing like the pitcher he looked like in April. In April, he looked like he was a man on a mission, and now he looks like deer in the headlights, Detmers again.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look up this roster that Reed Detmers was sent down, but I mean, we still got to deal with a guy like Jose Suarez. Yeah, Mr. I'll make you famous. I mean, I saw a tweet that said something along the lines of like, this guy has the best job in Major League Baseball. He comes in when the team has waved the white flag and they just gave up, right? It's Suarez time. Here you go, kid. Go throw the ball. You don't even have to throw a strike. Just throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's crazy that Detmers is going to get sent down, but they decide to keep Suarez on the roster.
Yeah, that's insane. And dude, Detmers is like, his expected stats show he's one of the unluckiest pitchers in baseball. His expected ERA this year is 3.54.
What's his FIP right now?
His FIP is, I think, 4.3. So, yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it's like a sequencing issue or something. It looks like his curveball is the worst pitch in baseball. So maybe if he just stopped throwing the curveball.
Kind of like how Sandoval stopped stopped throwing the fastball for a little while, had a little bit of success.
Yeah, like if you're not, I don't know, you can't. He's throwing the curveball. Looks like 22% of the time, and he's 14 runs below league average on that pitch. So, yeah, they're hitting 350 off of it.
Well, adjusting isn't the strong suit for either hitting or pitching on this team. They'll let's just say Andrew's in charge of stats. Fernando's a coach for the Angels, and you just asked the question, what's his FIP? And Andrew gives you that information. Fernando, if he was an Angels coach, would be like, okay, let me apply this to them. Let me notify and make the necessary changes so that he's not relying on that pitch. But Fernando, as an Angels coach, imitating one of them would be like, FIP's overrated.
Yeah. Well, it just proves that he has had a bit of bad luck. That's really what it's been for the Angels. A lot of bad luck. You have one half of the equation working when the other half doesn't, right? We've had some outings where the starting pitching is doing okay, but the hits aren't. Like today, Griffin Canning, great outing, solid outing, but the hitting was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, or you actually have both.
Which has made it worse.
What's that?
And then Luis Garcia had a bad outing, which has made it worse.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I was going to, talk about was, maybe sometimes you actually have, decent pitching and you have some timely hitting to get some runs, and then the bullpen messes up or the bullpen holds it down for you and the hitting doesn't come through. It has been a comedy of errors. And, I haven't seen a team personally, I think like my dad said, to be this bad, like an Angels team that's just this bad overall, whether it's coaching, organization, hitting, pitching, relieving, just terrible.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead. I was gonna say, dude, I thought you guys were a playoff team, honestly, on paper. I mean, before Mike Trout got hurt, the team looked good. You had great pitching. It just all fell apart.
I mean, I don't even think you can say it all fell apart because it never really came together. You know what I mean? Like, when were things routinely firing for this organization? I mean, there's been almost no facet to this team that's been consistent this year. Everyone's getting hurt. This team already didn't have depth. I mean, when Guillermo is, routinely starting, there's a problem. There really is. We said the same thing about Willie Calhoun. If that guy is in your minor leagues, no problem. But when he is routinely starting for your team, he's starting like 85% of the games right now. And he started off really, really hot. But the last week has just fallen off.
Yeah, and I think too, with the way the team has been put together, it hasn't been put together. It's just been like, oh, we found a piece here, we found a piece here. We're just trying to it's sort of like one of those patch quilts, but not all the materials mesh and they're all different colors, and they're just trying to make a quilt just to make a quilt. And I think that's what we're doing right here. There's nothing that's fitting together, or maybe even like a good analogy is like a puzzle piece that you're trying to force in a piece that doesn't fit. And we're doing that, and the results are there. We're 17 games under 500. We don't do anything good, and we have some guys, and that's about it. And it's not, to me, what it comes down to, if you look since 2014 and you fast forward and you could look at how many injuries this team has had since that 14 era, the last playoff team that we had, they've jumped every year. And it's been a constant issue of TJs and all these major surgeries, season ending things. And that has always played a big part. But now we're starting to see that we don't even have the talent around to field a 500 team like we've normally have.
Let me, so Andrew's here, and, he's kind of our unbiased voice, kind of tells us how it is. And before we, leave the Mariner series behind, because there's really not much to talk about. Andrew, do you believe, as an outsider looking in, that the Angels are truly the second worst team in the American League? And I don't mean where we stand. I mean just in general.
No, definitely not. And yeah, I mean, like Todd was talking about with the injuries, you guys have what, like $90 million on the DL right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost $40 million of that is Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. When you signed Rendon, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be like this. And he was one of the best players in baseball for a while. Like, I mean, his attitude, just how much he shows up on the field, his performance, what he does, it just sucks. It sucks that happened to you guys, because he should be a star. But
yeah, we thought he, because again, I'll go back to it every time. The people were saying the Hawks were like, well, Garrett Cole, maybe it's good we dodged that bullet. He could only pitch every 5 games, and what if he gets TJ? We lose him for a year and a half. We need someone to play like everyday Rendon.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I do want to know, I wonder how different this is if the Angels do get a guy like Garrett Cole. Like, are we talking about one of those seasons might have been a playoff season? In 2020, it came down to the last 3 games of the season. In 2021, they were pretty out of it. Same with 2022. And then last year, I mean, at the trade deadline, they were still in it. So are we talking about a much different situation if we land Garrett Cole, never get Anthony Rendon? Because the only issue I can see is we didn't have a third baseman. But Andrew has said multiple times, because him and I have been podcasting for what, like 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
And the Angels were always just needing replacement level players, because we talked about the whole stars and scrubs thing, right? You had Trout, you had Ohtani. But the problem was the other guys the Angels had were below average. If they would have had 0 WAR players, the funniest thing is that the Angels probably make a couple of playoffs over the last decade.
Yeah, that's completely true. It's insane, actually, the lack of depth in this organization. And I mean, honestly, that's what you're getting, the whole patchwork quilt type of thing, where you're picking people off the waiver wire. You don't have depth coming up from the minor leagues. You can't field a competitive team if you don't have guys in reserve that are able to come up and perform at least at a league average level, or even below average.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is, if you think about the teams of 2017, 2018, there was a lot of potential and talent on this roster. It was always just like the pitching staff was just horrendous. Because, I mean, Andrelton Simmons, during the time as an Angel, was an elite shortstop. He was hitting his weight. He was hitting about 260, 275. His defense was legitimately winning games for the Angels, especially when you had those big injuries to Trout. You had Justin Upton, who even in 2018 was a serviceable left fielder. Cole Calhoun was starting to regress, but even if he would have given you a WAR of 0 or 1, that could have helped been the difference, actually, which is crazy. Martin Maldonado was here as a catcher. He was great in terms of positive WAR for the team. So it's just there was a lack of depth when guys like Simmons did go down. There was a year they got like Brendan Ryan. Luis Rengifo wasn't producing the opportunities he had. So if any of those guys, or if the Angels just have one or two additional average depth pieces, like if back then they would have had a guy like a Cole Tucker this year or Kevin Pillar this year, we're talking about a team that's probably made the playoffs about 2 or 3 times over the last decade.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they only missed by a few games, and they're a team that if they had a ace, you would think at some point at the deadline they would add a number 2, and then you'd have a nice little 1-2 punch. And with the starters they had, I think we can all agree they had 3s and 4s at the time. They would have been fine. They would have been fine. And at that time in the team's history, the Angels were just missing that starter. They were just missing that ace, and everything else would have fallen in place. But we never got that. And because we never got that, you could only hold on to the offense for so long. And certain players now, to me, aren't worth keeping anymore. And you're almost to a point where you just got to blow it up, and you got to really announce in the offseason, or not in the offseason, but around the trade deadline, that you're waving the white flag like you do with Suarez, like you said earlier, when he comes into the game. Just be like, hey, nobody's untouchable except this guy and this guy, and the rest, have at it. Send us offers.
Yeah. I mean, aside from guys like, your Netos, your Shanuels, your Ohapi, I mean, there really shouldn't be anybody who's untouchable.
Well, Soriano, that'd be the only other guy.
Okay. Yeah. I can see Soriano. And then you have guys who nobody will touch. Nobody's going to touch Trout. No one's going to touch Rendon because of their durability issues and their contracts, obviously. But
Correct.
Everyone else you should be taking phone calls for. So as we try to transition here to the Padre series, I do want to ask Andrew this. Is there anyone who you think is going to get a sizable return, who you legitimately is going to get think is going to get traded for the Angels here?
Man, I mean, I would say probably Rengifo could get a pretty sizable return, especially with the year he's having.
Yeah, and I believe he has 2 years of control. That's off the top of my head, 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, free agent 2026. And I mean, I would honestly, like, his value's never been higher. We know he's not like a 320 hitter. He's not going to continue at that pace. You want to sell high on a guy like that, try to get a package of like 3 or 4 good prospects back.
I think Kevin Pillar, if he continues to do well, he might be able to get you something. I think it'll be a Ty Buttrey type guy who was a long-time AAA kind of arm, but you can get something for him. You think Taylor Ward gets any interest, especially if he does make the All-Star team?
Yeah, I think Taylor Ward. He's a good player. He'll especially if you're on like a playoff run or anything like that, having a guy that can come in, be about 20% better than league average. That's a good guy to have on the team. There'll probably be 10 teams that are interested in him.
I think Tyler Anderson's going to go.
Yeah. Hey, the Padres need some arms in the rotation. How do you feel about Tyler Anderson?
I would take him. Anything to beat Vasquez, who has not been that great.
I'll tell you one thing that makes Tyler Anderson, besides the contract, besides another year of control, very, very sexy to other teams, is the fact that he just, for whatever reason this season, he is keeping the ball down and in the ballpark. He's pitching to contact and really being efficient with his pitching. And so where he can last longer into games. So he's checking all the right marks for a team that wants to contend.
Oh, yeah. He'll get you guys like he's probably one of those guys where if you really wanted to trade him, you can probably get like a top 50 type prospect, like a straight up deal.
Yep.
And they take on the bullpen. You got to do that. You got to get young talent in here to go with Nito and Ohapi. It's time.
Yeah. If I'm the Angels, I'm exploring perhaps getting a top of the rotation type prospect starter. Maybe a guy who's right on the cusp, who maybe a team is slowly kind of starting to get over. Like another team's Joe Adell. I try to go after a guy like that to maybe be your front of the rotation guy. You take that gamble. I would look for an outfield prospect or a third base prospect, right? You need somebody to try to get the best out of Anthony Rendon, because Anthony Rendon can no longer be your front man third baseman going into next year or the future. So if I'm the Angels, I'm not going to cut Anthony Rendon because that's what he wants, right? This guy wants to get paid to not play baseball. Great. Sit on the bench. I'm going to get a young prospect here, like let's just say theoretically a guy like a Neto to come in, be my third baseman who wants to play and get better.
True. By the way, before the last thing I got,
Sure.
You realize now all the banners in front of the stadium, all you got up there that are relevant right now as far as players on those 6 banners is Neto and Ohapi.
Yeah,
because
he's batting like 200 in his last 15 games.
but at least he's not injured or missing time, and Ohapi's, and Neto's there. But you got Sandoval up there, Detmers who's in AAA. Obviously Sandoval's been pitching bad. Rendon who's hurt, and Trout that's hurt. That's what you're advertising.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
I wonder how much longer they continue to put players up there, just because they've had that issue happen a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
Remember years ago when they had Pujols and they replaced him with the A, and then they did the thank you fans or whatever,
Yeah.
Or they just go for the cop out and they just put a player from each decade. That's what they should have done this entire time.
That's what we said in preseason. Remember, Fernando?
Yeah, just take a player. I mean, the Angels have been around for 6 decades now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 6 windows. Just put a player from each decade. Then you don't have to worry about it, right?
You can have the fans vote for the best player from the decade, and the winner gets to go up on each decade.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, or you just from now on just have the Angels Hall of Fame players up there. Maybe some kind of you can put them all on there. Do that. I don't know, man. Just something. But I don't know. They've had a lot of bad luck lately picking the right faces to put up there.
I couldn't agree more. So let's move on to this Padres series, because I heard they play the Madres/Padres Monday through Wednesday at the Big A.
Yeah. So, Andrew, the Padres are currently in second place. What's something that our audience needs to look out for right now about the Padres? We know the starting pitching has been struggling a bit lately.
Yeah, so 2 of the main starters are down. That's Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish are on a 15-day DL. And they would have been scheduled to pitch in this series. And what's going to happen is Adam Mazur, who's a rookie, is going to be making his major league debut on Tuesday. And he's a pretty interesting prospect. He's got a wipeout slider. And he's, I think, the number 5 prospect in the Padres system. And AA had about a 2 ERA. So he's pretty highly regarded. It'll be interesting to see how the Angels bats do against them.
So is he making the jump from AA then to the majors?
I think he's been in AAA for the last 2 weeks, but basically a jump from AA.
Okay. Who's your AA affiliate now?
That is San Antonio.
Okay, still the Missions. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a rookie making his major league debut, I'm expecting 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs.
Oh, yeah, definitely a loss for us.
Yeah.
So not the Padres.
Scouting report, never heard of her.
The Angels do notoriously bad against spot starters and just rookies. Like a guy they've never seen before, they're going to do horrendous. They normally do. And because we said that, this is going to be the time they shellac someone.
It's going to be 10 runs in 3 innings.
This is going to be the time.
I'll be messaging you guys. You promised me.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew bet the house on it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's homeless now. He's going to live with Todd.
My $5 on FanDuel is gone.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the good news is ePay can't lose his money. Neither can David Fletcher.
Yeah. Although Fletcher's out right now still, so you never know.
Who are the Angels sending out today? Do we know yet? Let me pull up the probables.
Let's see. I don't know if you're gonna have it here. Or I'll beat you to it. Maybe. They're gonna throw Anderson, Sandoval, and Soriano.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that'll be fun. So Matt Waldarn, 3-5 with the 4.26 ERA against Tyler Anderson. Andrew, what's there to know about Matt?
Oh, Waldron. He's
Yeah.
he's a knuckleball pitcher who's been on a roll for his last 5 starts. Went 5 innings, struck out 10 Braves. He throws the knuckleball about 30 to 40% of the time, and then he mixes it up with a 92 to 93 mile an hour fastball. And people lately, his command's been great, so he's just been baffling hitters. It's gonna be a fun guy to watch.
Sandoval versus a knuckleballer. Ooh, give me the knuckleballer.
No, Anderson versus the knuckleballer.
No, Anderson's. Wait,
Yeah,
is that game 1?
that's game 1.
Oh, okay.
So another thing to look out for is the Padres are hitting 295 on the road this year,
Mm.
and they're 19-11 on the road. So they've just been cleaning up on the road, and they're 13-19 at home. So if you want to play them, being the home team's not the time.
Well, it's kind of like they've been better at on the road too. Obviously not in Seattle, but does it scare you at all to face Tyler Anderson where he currently is?
Yeah, he's on a roll right now.
2.47 ERA and 48 strikeouts.
Yeah, I don't think the Padres hit lefties very well, if I remember correctly. I think they're one of the worst teams against lefties.
Well, then I think, Fernando, what's going to happen is we're going to do our normal this year. Win the first game, lose the next 2. So, I mean, Darvish just hit the IL, didn't he?
Yeah. Darvish is on IL. Musgrove's on IL. So you're not getting the Padres' best pitchers, although you do have Cease on Wednesday.
That's true. That's actually going to be a good matchup between him and Soriano. And we notoriously struggle against Cease when he was with Chicago. So that's going to be interesting. And then I don't care who Sandoval's pitching against. I know some people don't like the Sandoval slander, but give me the Padres starter in game 2. Let's go with that. I don't even know who it is.
That's going to be the rookie.
He's the rookie that he just mentioned. I'm looking right now at the Padres' normal lineup. It looks like Cronenworth is having a much better year this year than he did last year. Machado is batting 240. What's wrong with him?
So he's coming off hip surgery, and he's just been slow to recover.
Yeah, so he was doing pretty well about a week and a half ago, it looks like. And even right now, in the last 7 games, he's batting almost 300, but he started the year pretty rough.
Actually, it was a tendon surgery in his arm, not hip surgery. I was thinking of Rendon for some reason. Might saw Rendon.
Yeah, right. I'm looking right now. In his last 30, he was batting 228. Last 15, he's batting 309. In his last 7, he's batting 292. So he's obviously heating up a little bit, which is good. I do like Manny Machado. Ha-Sung Kim, the Korean playboy, he is not doing too well right now.
No, but he's got elite defense, and they bat him 9th usually. So
okay,
hitting,
called me racist. That's what they call him on Reddit, and a lot of that. So no, it's not racist.
It's a term of endearment.
It is. Korean playboy.
Oh, what's gonna be fun is Luis Arias. He's hitting nearly 400 since he came over to the Padres. I think like 392.
That I got from Miami, correct?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that trade now that you've actually gotten to see him be successful for a period of time now?
I'm excited. AJ Preller is the best talent evaluator in baseball as far as like building the farm system. He just continuously just replenishes it and gets a top 5 farm system. So anytime he can just trade players away for established big leaguers, I'll take it. Yeah.
See, okay, so there's a lot of Angels fans, Padres fans crossover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an Angels fan first, and then there's a giant separation, and then I'm a Padres fan. I like the Padres. I have a soft spot for the Padres, and I know there's a lot of crossover. I mean, Todd hears it all the time on the postgame show. So with that being said, there's a lot of people who say that Arias is like the modern day Tony Gwynn because of the way they hit. Do you kind of see a correlation there?
Yeah, if you had said that when he was on the Marlins, I'd have punched you in the face. But now that he's a Padre, I'll accept that.
That's fair.
I get that. Yeah, the guy is just got a very nice swing, and he just takes what I mean, you could tell he does his homework. He reminds me of a Carlos Delgado too. Back in the day, he'd have his own, before tablets, he had his own book. They'd always show him marking down every at bat, every pitch he saw from a pitcher, charting it himself. And he seems to just have this in his head. and he's just such a phenomenal hitter, man. You guys, I mean, although it was steep, I think you got what you paid for when you get him.
Yeah.
No, I'm so excited. It's so much fun to watch him. It's like it sucked losing Juan Soto, but it's more fun to watch a guy that just goes up there and has a chance to get 4 hits every night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. Could you imagine a world where their outfield is Arias, Soto, and Tatis?
I mean, we kind of got that going on this year with Jerson Profar, who's got like a 430 on base percentage.
Yeah, where'd that come out of? I know Profar was Padre for a while, but he's had a great season.
Yeah, I don't expect him to keep it up. I think by the end of the year, the old Jerks and Profar is going to come back. But it's fun to watch right now.
Let's real quick talk about Suarez, your closer. So what's been his thing? In 25 games, he has an ERA of 0.69. All
nice.
right. Yeah, nice. 26 innings pitched, and he's up there in saves. What is he at right now?
He's 17-17.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so I know he's one of the lead leaders right now in saves. Definitely going to be getting some all-star nods coming up. So with that being said, what do Angels fans need to keep an eye out for him?
So he's going to come in and he's going to throw only one pitch, a fastball. It's going to be 101 miles per hour, and he's just going to dare your hitters to hit it. So I think at one point he threw 70 pitches in a row that were just fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a recipe for disaster, my friend, for us anyway.
And then they actually have a better relief pitcher who just set the record for consecutive strikeouts in a row. That's Estrada. So he broke the record of 11, set it with 13 straight strikeouts, and they were all swings and misses.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's got a wipeout slider, and he also throws 100.
Yeah, you guys have a pretty solid bullpen. And then you guys have the guy from Korea in AAA, right? What's his name? You guys just signed him this offseason.
Oh, he's on the Marlins. He was part of that trade for Rice.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he would have been fun. But no, yeah, he's gone, so I don't care about him anymore.
You guys also have Matsui, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, we got Matsui. He just blew the game today. Allowed 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th.
I did see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, the thing is with baseball, and when you're going up against guys like Tyler Anderson, and I know Suarez hasn't been the best for you guys, but he still has ridiculous stuff when he's on. And at any point, any of these guys can get hot, and all of a sudden the Angels can sweep the series.
It's gonna happen.
Andrew.
Yeah.
You need to watch more Angels baseball. I appreciate the love and niceness that you're giving us. Believe me, I wish it were true, my friend. But Suarez, he may have good stuff, but he doesn't have it between the ears. And if the Angels win one game, bro, I would be shocked. I'm just putting it out there. Way that they're playing.
I'll say it now. I think we are going to get a reverse rally, Chris. I think we win the first game of the series. I feel confident about Tyler Anderson on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use the A word because people were using that with Detmers, and look what happened there. But, at least when Anderson's on the mound, you feel like it's going to be a competitive game.
Correct.
The team seems to like being behind him. And, this guy probably wants to increase his trade value because if I'm Tyler Anderson, I want out.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't want out of Anaheim at this current moment? So if I'm pitching to get out because
Fernando. I'm sorry to interrupt, but he's trying to get out of Los Angeles, not Anaheim. Sorry.
He's trying to get out of Los Angeles, of the Western Hemisphere, of the planet of the United States, of China. He's trying to get out. So, and I think he will. I think he is going to get traded. And if I'm the Angels, the next amazing start he has, maybe it's tomorrow, you have to try to explore trading him immediately. His value is not going to get any higher. Same with Luis Rengifo. I mean, something tells me that the Angels are going to wait till it's too late. They're going to think that, oh, hey, we're going to trade him right as the buzzer tolls on the trade deadline and we're going to get more for him. I don't think so. There's already teams that are desperate out there. Look at the Padres. They're in second place, 32-30. Yu Darvish is hurt. Joe Musgrove is hurt. And hopefully none of those are long injuries. But a team like the Padres, who has is it the sixth best farm system right now?
Yeah, somewhere right there.
Yeah, top 10. And I'm very confident six, if memory serves correctly. They don't mind moving pieces. AJ Preller is notorious for getting a great farm system, tearing it down to make a competitive team like in 2021, was it?
Yeah, 2020, 2021, yep.
Yeah, and look, all of a sudden they are right back up there. So get some of those pieces. They're going to give it to you because I'm sure the Padres would take Tyler Anderson.
Oh yeah, an heartbeat.
And there you go. And I mean, do you guys have any prospects that you think Angels fans might be interested in just off the top of your head? I know you're a prospect guy too.
Oh yeah, the Padres still got a really stacked system. So I mean, even the guy pitching on Tuesday, Mazur, he's someone I would take an eye on because he looks like he's going to be a number 2, maybe number 3 type guy. The problem with the Padres farm system right now is that it's pretty top heavy. Okay. So and they're guys that they would never trade, even as much as Preller would want to. So you got Ethan Salas, who's the 17-year-old catcher, that they're calling like the prospect of the generation. Then I think number 2 or number 3 is the other I forget that guy's name, DeVry, but he was the top international signing this last year as well.
Okay.
And they're pretty far away. So the Angels, you want to be competitive with Mike Trout. So you're probably looking for more guys that are AA, AAA at this moment.
Yeah, I think the Angels are probably looking for pieces that are going to be major league ready or at least able to contend and compete for a job next spring. So yeah, AA, AAA guys. And I think the Angels realistically do look for a young third base prospect and probably a young outfield prospect.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try to add some depth, but where to get it from, and they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, like Andrew said, in a way, because you got to get something to contend with Mike and give it another go next year. But where are you going to get it from? Who knows at this point? And you have to drain the actual team to get any sort of prospects. But how young do you make them?
So, if you do it right, they could retool in theory. I think there's enough trade interest with some of these guys, the Andersons, the Wards of the world, where they could, obviously everyone needs to stay healthy, but they could at least retool and contend. But, I mean, we've been saying that for years also.
Yeah, we just want to see a new direction for once, but only time will tell, one game at a time. And these games, you predict a Rally Chris reverse special. I'm going to join that bandwagon. What do you got on this series, Andrew?
I'm a Padres homer. I'm going to go clean sweep on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to do reverse. The Padres have won 8 of their last 10 series, and they've all been 2 out of 3. So I'm with you guys on this one.
Okay. Do you agree that the one game that you think the Angels might win is that Tyler Anderson game, or you think it's the Soriano game or the game where your rookie is pitching?
I think it's going to be Soriano.
Really? Okay, so it'll be the Angels avoiding the sweep, which they have not done very well this year.
You know what we do? We avoid the sweep in game 1. That's what we do.
Yeah. And Ron Washington's like, good job, guys. Take it to the bank. We avoid the sweep.
The West is ours, baby. Pow, pow.
Yeah, he meant the best pick in the West is ours.
What do you guys think of Ron Washington? Do you like him?
I'm starting to sour on him a little bit.
Here's the thing. Like, I really, really want to talk to Perry and ask him how much of this he's responsible for, because there's a lot of moves that aren't made when they need to be made. And is that a front office decision? Are they the ones calling the shots with the analytics, or is this really Ron Washington's lack of intuition?
You guys got analytics?
Yeah, exactly.
Too much.
Yeah, no. I've heard you in the post game talking about how you guys are running too much on it, and you can see, like, you guys have a lot of you rotate players a lot. Like, there's a lot of players with like half playing time.
Oh yeah. It's too much. I think they're overthinking it to the point that the vending machines, they run analytics on what fruit snacks fit best on Friday. I don't know.
Tucker likes the juicefuls. Welcome.
The team hits better with runners in scoring position when they have those. So
Load them up.
Yeah, so I'm like that. I like Ron Washington a lot. I feel like if he was running this team, like Fernando said, with more of a hands-on approach and really able to run it the way he wants to, yes, he can come off a little arrogant sometimes, but I think it would be a good thing. I think you need that kind of attitude, whether you don't need the passive aggressive Joe Madden, and you don't want the numbnuts Nevin who's just quiet all the time unless he's had like a bad burrito for lunch. It's just you're not seeing too much aggression or feeling from those guys. But with Ron, you see a lot of those old school mentality, but then to a point, it's like someone just turns it off and he goes back into analytics and relying on whatever they say upstairs.
Absolutely.
So you guys got anything else?
No. Padres are gonna Padres, I think, are gonna win the series here.
Agreed. Oh, go ahead.
So I don't know. We got swept by the Rockies a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
We're looking forward to the White Sox and Rockies, what we could do against them. So
watch we by both. Jeez, could you imagine?
And we do have the worst record in all of baseball. At home. So there's that.
Oh,
worse than the White Sox?
Yes.
21. Yeah, the White Sox are. Yeah. Better.
The White Sox have 3 more wins at home than we do.
There you go.
So
don't go to the Big A expecting to see a win, folks.
Yep. Just watch from home. Don't pay Artie. So if that's it, well, we called a clean sweep for the Padres. We tried to be lighthearted on this series. Hopefully we get I'll just put it out there. We were supposed to have a guest here, and hopefully we can get them on after the series. But they were supposed to be here to help us preview the series with Andrew and then talk about some old school Padres baseball too. But we'll look to see if we can nail that down in the next couple of days. I sent some angry emails, so we'll see what happens.
I'll use some colorful language.
So for Todd Fox and the Lone Star Halo,
yeah.
Fernando
and Andrew.
Oh, I'm here.
But we really need to work on these intros and outros, don't we?
Yeah, it's all right.
Have a good one, folks.
It's year 4. We'll get better.